Hi everyone, welcome to Comet Computer Private Limited, e-learning program of Azure Public Cloud Training. Myself, Ilan Cherian, Technical Director at Comet Computer Private Limited. In this video, we'll be understanding about the Azure Virtual Machines. So, virtual machines are the core components of infrastructure as a service. VMs are managed by us, and all underlying infrastructure is managed by Microsoft. So Azure Virtual Machine is one of several types of on-demand scalable computing resources that Azure offers. And Azure Virtual Machine gives you the flexibility of virtualization without having to buy and maintain the physical hardware that runs it. However, you still need to maintain the virtual machine by performing tasks such as configuring, patching, and installing the software that runs on it. While creating a virtual machine, we need to think about the location where the resources are stored, size of the virtual machine, operating system that the virtual machine runs, and the VNet and the subnet in which the VM has to be connected. Azure offers wide range of computing solutions with support of Linux and Windows operating system, as well as SQL Server, Oracle, IBM, SAP, and more. All current generation virtual machine includes load balancing and auto scaling at no cost. So we can deploy a virtual machine featuring up to 416 virtual CPUs and nearly 12 terabytes of memory. So get up to 3.7 million local storage IOPS per virtual machine. And also we can take advantage of 30 gigabits per second Ethernet and cloud's first deployment of 200 Gbps, that is 200 gigabits per second InfiniBand. So we can have a huge virtual machines. And Azure Virtual Machine, there are different pricing models Azure offers. So they are pay as you go model, reserved virtual machine instances, and spot pricing. So initially we'll understand the pay as you go model. So pay as you go model where you can purchase Azure services with the pay as you go pricing. Pay only for what you use each month with no upfront commitment, and you can cancel the resources at any time, and you can pay for the computing capacity by the second. It means the resource utilization is calculated second by second, and you can increase or decrease the compute capacity on demand. You can start or stop at any time and only pay for what you use. And this pay as you go model is recommended for users who prefer the low cost and flexibility of Azure virtual machines, application with a short term, spiky, and unpredictable workload that cannot be interrupted, and application being developed or tested on Azure virtual machines for the first time. And coming to the reserved virtual machines, so these reserved virtual machines and Azure Reserved Virtual Machine instance is an advanced purchase option of a virtual machine for 1 or 3 years in a specific region. So the commitment is made upfront, and in return you get up to 72% of saving in the comparing to pay as you go pricing. Say example, you're running a web application. You are sure that this web application you're going to run up to 3 years. So you can reserve this instance for 3 years, and you can have a reduced cost for all the 3 years. So that is the important feature about this reserved virtual instances. So reserved virtual machine instances are flexible and can easily be exchanged or returned, and it is always recommended for application with a steady state usage, and customer who want budget predictability, and customers who can commit to use a virtual machine over 1 year or 3 year term. to reduce the computing cost. And coming to spot pricing, so spot pricing is something like a bidding. So you can purchase the unused compute capacity at deep discounts up to 90% compared to pay as you go price. So if your workload can tolerate interruptions and its execution time is flexible, then using spot instance can significantly reduce the cost of running your workload in Azure. You can run your workloads on virtual machines or virtual machine scale sets. And even actual discount may vary based on the region or the virtual machine type and the Azure compute capacity available when the workload is deployed. And these spot instances are recommended for the customer who want to significantly lower their cost. Interruptible applications, so you can receive a notification 30 seconds in advance before your application is evicted. Usually while creating the spot instance, we will be fixing a bid price. It means the initial bid price and the maximum bid price. If the market price goes high and your maximum bid price has been attained, so in that case you will be notified to increase the bid price. So after increasing the bid, you can retain the instances. Otherwise you will get a notification that your instance is going to get evicted, so you'll get only 30 seconds time. So before that you can take the action so that you can retain the instance. Otherwise you'll lose the instance, that is obvious, because 30 seconds is not enough time to react. But your instance will get deleted, but still your VHDs will be available. So later on you can use the same VHD and you can run your instances with the same data. And workloads that do not require completion within a predetermined time frame or an SLA. And Azure hybrid benefit. See, Azure offers another option where that is the Azure hybrid benefit is actually a pricing offer that helps you to minimize the value of your existing on-premises Windows Server and a SQL Server license investment while you are migrating to Azure. So with it, you are eligible for uh, pay a reduced rate of Azure virtual machines and a reduced rate of Azure SQL database under platform as a service and SQL Server on virtual machine IaaS. You can receive free extended security update when you migrate your Windows Server and SQL Server 2008 and 2008 R2 workloads in Azure virtual machines. So with these benefits, most of the companies can get into the Azure to utilize their existing licenses. So, and these are all the some of the examples of the virtual machine pricing. So here I'm just I have taken a screenshot of the Azure price list with Azure hybrid benefit disabled. If you enable the hybrid benefit, still the cost will go very low. So initially in pay as you go model, you can see this instance type. This is actually a memory optimized instance. So where it has two virtual CPU and a 16 GB of RAM. So for this instance, you're going to be charged $0.218 per hour. The same size of instance when it comes to uh, uh, reserved instance. If I'm reserving for 1 year, the same instance I'm getting it for $0.1673 per hour. The previous one we saw we got it for $0.218 per hour. But this 1 year reserved instance, I'm getting it for 167.1673 per hour. Even further, I'm reserving it for 3 years. What happens? Again, further the price drops to $0.1401 per hour. And even in spot instance, further the cost is getting reduced where I can get it for $0.03398 per hour. So based on your requirement and based on the characteristics of your application, based on the requirement of your applications, so you can choose a right pricing option for your virtual machine so that you can optimize the bill, so which will help the management as well. And that's all the end of the understanding of the virtual machines. And in the next video we'll be discussing about the virtual machine series, that is the sizes of virtual machine, which kind of virtual machine can be used for which kind of applications. So that we'll be discussing in the next video. Until then, bye bye.